So if you've also just come back from a run, come join me and let's do a little bit of stretching today. So grab yourself a blanket, or if you've got a yoga mat, obviously that's great. If you don't, that's fine too. And one of the things, I don't know if you can see it, one of the things that I tend to get, or I have trouble with, is my adductors. So they tend to get quite tight, and actually one of the reasons why, actually let's get into it first. So Baddha Konasana it's called. So bring the soles of the feet together. You can always hold on to your ankles or to your legs. You can kind of play around with that angle to the hips as well here. Just find a nice long spine. Notice if you're kind of slouching in your lower back, so you can lift yourself up, draw the belly in, and find that lift to sit up nice and tall. So yeah, just hang out here for a few moments. You can always work with your breath. Obviously, within the yoga practice, that's one of the key components, key things that we want to look at. And yeah, see how we can, especially after our run, just find a way how we can just kind of relax into the pose. You can lean forward ever so slightly. You can find a few moments here pressing your arms into the legs. You don't want to go too crazy here, depending on what kind of run you've just done. You just kind of want to find a way where, or kind of, position or an intensity where it's easy to relax into. So it's more of a kind of yin yoga practice rather than a full on I don't know, Ashtanga practice or sorry. But then again, obviously, if you've got more energy to burn, feel free to do that. So I always kind of hang out here for a few moments, few minutes, until I find that my legs are naturally starting to relax a little bit more. That's also a nice way. You can always give it a little massage as well. There you go. And take your hands behind you. So all these, variations, I really encourage you to try out and just notice and see what works for you. Because obviously, eventually, at the end of the day, it's your body, and it's you want to be, finding that awareness and just tuning in and notice what it is that you need. So another one, obviously a little more intense, depending on where you are within the hips, is a wide-legged forward fold. So, or you can even just sit wide-legged. So sometimes when I get in, just got a little cramp there in the hips, you just come out of it and give it a little moment to relax. The same here with the legs. Same with the left hip now. You can, so you can find a little engagement within the thighs to start with, and gently press down. Same with the lower back and the spine here. Find the length within the spine first. Lift yourself up. I just realized I'm mostly wearing blue today. And then find the same variations either with your hands behind you, or you can always take your hands in front, or obviously if you are happy to move a little further forward and kind of move into the pose to maybe 60-70%. You can gently move forward a little more to just kind of play around with that edge, notice where that is. And then if you want to hang out here a little bit longer, you can, just maybe come back up a little. Again, so your body doesn't have to fight anymore. So again, depending on the run you just did, your body might have done enough, most likely not done enough. So see where you are and notice what feels good for you. I sometimes give my legs a little support here, and you can use your arms as leverage here, so you gently press your hands, your arms into the legs. Obviously be mindful here of the knees, pressing into the floor as well, and lifting your spine out, and helping that rotation of your thighs out, or into that natural position. And then from there, you can find a little more ease within the pose. And again, I just kind of like to hang out here for a few moments. Just taking a few breaths. Obviously the breath is a really nice one to tune into after our run. I'll always notice where you feel the sensations, notice where you feel maybe any restrictions, any tightness. If you've done a speed session, you might be breathing deeply and fully now, able to slowly get that oxygen, how do you say that, oxygen deficiency, balanced again. And again, notice how, I love saying that in my classes as well, how when you hold the pose for a little longer, you then suddenly notice there's an opening happening at the point where you allow yourself to surrender into the pose. Okay, a mini session here. Just allow my peachy face to balance itself out again as well. Let me know if you get as peachy, as red as I do as well. Be nice to know that I'm not alone. I always feel like I'm the most red, or reddest face in the whole club when I go running. But I think that's a lot of times perception, isn't it, of ourselves. It's not always true, and probably for us it seems more intense or redder than it actually is. Having said that, I do really get very peachy, very red, dark red. Oh, okay. Right, so I would love to do actually two more to come out of it. It's always nice to take your knees and then maybe give it a little shake, a little wriggle here. Obviously the hamstrings is a really a good area as well to stretch after a run. But the one I would like to show you, and I'm going to take you for the wall with me here. I hope you're going to see me now. So again, take yourself a blanket and kind of wedge it next to the wall, and that's where you're going to put your knee now. And this might be a little tricky to get into to start with. So you're going to take one knee and kind of place it to the wall, kind of shuffle yourself back, and then the other leg, or the foot, we want to place down to the floor. So we're going to come into our lunge here, okay? So again, this might be already a lot here for the thigh, potentially the hip flex as well. You might feel it in your hamstrings as well. See how you feel. And then just pause here. Again, if that's a lot already for you, keep breathing here. Keep finding a little bit of that length through the breath to kind of neutralize and kind of balance out the intensity here of the pose as well. Moving the hips back might help you to find a little less of that intensity in the leg. Or again, if it's way too much, maybe just move your knee a little further away from the wall. You can always tuck the toes there. Again, just do what is beneficial for you. So from here, and I just realized I might move out of the video here, out of the picture in a moment. So stay here for a few moments, or you can start to take your hands onto your thigh, then draw the belly in to lift yourself up. I'm still here. And again, notice how that extension of the hip gets a little bit more intense, and also obviously also the intensity in the thigh. Yeah. Again, just hang out here for a few moments, finding your balance. Maybe move your right foot onto the right side a little bit more if you need a little bit more balance. And then so here you can maybe start to slowly, very slowly, start to allow the hip to sink a little deeper. Just imagine that thigh, the hamstrings want to draw down. So don't push it. And again, always come back down onto your hands if that's a lot or if that's too much. So really, really good stretch there for the thighs. Yeah, for the thighs. I'm just going to take another moment here. Nice long breath. And then slowly bring yourself back up. I'm going to change sides. Take the knee to the wall. Take your left foot down to the floor. Choose your option, choose your variation here. And a moment here to also notice the space where your thighs start to fight or to kind of push against you, push against the stretch, at which point does it get a little tight where your body isn't happy to move any faster. So that's your edge, okay? That's your first edge. And as you pause there and breathe, and simply notice. Notice the intensity might dissipate a little bit. And the more often you do that, the more kind of conscious control you're able to find, or let's say awareness to start with. And also finding that ease that allows us to move back our muscles back into that more natural, optimal length. And let's see whether we can bring ourselves up here. So again, take your hands to your thigh and maybe draw the belly away from your thigh. You can notice straight away how that intensifies the stretch in the right leg. So for me, I feel it's quite intense up here. So that left leg is starting to work a lot. It might be a little tired now as well. But again, if you move your hips back a little, then if there's anything obviously happening with the knee, cushion it up, place another cushion underneath, or obviously adjust, and maybe that's just not the pose for you, and you sit this one out. And then from here, you slowly start to sink the hip down. Find a few moments here. I do find this quite intense right now for this left leg, so I feel I'm working quite a lot, so I like to just place my hands down to the floor. This might be actually even more delicious if you've not just done a run. Well done, by the way, for going out and taking care of yourself and enjoying this beautiful weather. It's been actually quite windy today, but I do love that, especially when the sun's out. It's a bit crisp outside as well. There you go. Let's take one more deep breath here. Big inhale. And lengthen your spine even more. Maybe find a little more of that ease through the hips. And then from here, slowly bring our right knee back. And maybe just straighten up. Give your legs a little wiggle, a little shake. Let me come to the front again. And what else could we do? Maybe one hamstring stretch. So let's move you down a little bit. So from here, sorry, technical difficulties. There you go. So find a nice long spine. You can either bring your feet together, maybe a little further away from each other. There you go. Sorry guys, didn't actually plan it. at all. Very well. There you go. Same variation what we did earlier. You can always take your hands here behind you to find a little bit of that lift, you know, kind of getting out of the lower back. Lift yourself up. And then draw the toes towards you. And that might already intensify the stretch a lot, so you can just hang out here for a while. Or if the body's happy to go further without dipping into the back, find that length and then slowly start to tilt forward from the hips and find a little bit of that sinking forward. Walk your hands forward. You can always use a strap, as you know, if you've been to one of my classes. That's one I like to do. You just take a strap and loop it around your feet and then draw yourself in. And notice you don't want to do that. You want to reach your heart forward. Draw yourself in. If the arms are happy to touch the feet here, you can use that a little as leverage here as well. Gently press into the hands. Draw the shoulders back again to reach your heart forward, okay? And then slowly start to find that juiciness there in the hamstrings. There you go. So for some, obviously that's and it might not look like, your position might not look like this. I'm a very happy hamstring person. So my hamstrings, well, I can feel it more in the calves, to be honest, when I flex my feet. So just notice where you are. And it's not bad, there is no bad, no, there's no right or wrong. So just do as much as it feels good and see where you are. And actually, when we stay there for a moment, you might be, you might be one of those people where your hips kind of flop open, and that's not, that's kind of my natural, well, actually not even natural position. Before I started doing yoga, I was kind of sitting like that. I was so tight, it's not that much of a difference, to be honest. Well, it's actually a big difference. But, it's practice as well. It's consistency of practice. And then again, breathe, so inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, gently release. I'm just going to hang out here for a few moments. Finding that meditative quality. Finding that yin to your yang, that ebb and flow of our bodies, the activities that we do. Just noticing the breath, that sweet pulse of life, and the breath. And then slowly bring yourself back. And there you have it. So if you're short on time, I think that might be an easy one. An easy one to, a quick one. Sorry, I'm faffing now. A quick one to do. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know how you found it. And I look forward to seeing you later. Bye. I might cut that out. There you have it. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know how you found it, how you got on, especially after a run if you've been out, and I shall see you tomorrow. Bye.